I'm thinking maybe in order for me to get rid of that not wanting to tip over, I could in fact forward roll and headstand practice. So I learn the headstand so I get comfortable with that in between point when I have to kick my feet up. Oh, you saw the hole in my sock. I didn't even notice that, you know. Look at the other one. No hole. Yeah. Maybe it's a sensible idea to learn headstands, because that's gonna make me feel more used to being further on the way to tipping over. My feet will be completely in the air, so it might be sensible to learn that. Rather conveniently, I was watching a video yesterday about how to do a headstand from Yoga with Adrienne, something, an interesting sounding white woman. So I think, yeah, I need to go back and watch that video. But for now, I will also do planks as well, but yeah. Just do it fast. Why not just do it fast? Oh shit. Your mum. I don't even feel nervous to doing it, but that's just as far as I've ever got before. What you're seeing right now is as far as I've ever got. It's like the new skill the new skill equivalent of mental looping, when you're trying to think of going deeper into something you've already thought about, but you're just saying the same things over and over again. What you're seeing right now is the physical exercise equivalent of that. I have an idea, okay? Do the headstands, and that will get me feeling more used to having my feet up in the air, which will be very helpful for me, because that means I'll feel more used to being to tipping over kind of thing. But I'd have to combine what I learn there with the headstands with safety rolls as well when you roll onto your side. I think what I learned from both there, the headstand and the safety roll, both left and right, pardon me, that's what I need to do to help me actually achieve this forward roll. I think if I just carry on strictly trying to learn the forward roll right now, there's going to be it's going to be equivalent to me not having any experience in the gym, but trying to do an 100 kilogram bench with no spot. I have YouTube videos to help me, but no one here with me in this room to help me other than myself, which is more than enough, to be fair. So yeah, I think it might just be very sensible to go and learn how to do headstands and safety rolls as a build up to learning how to do the forward roll, like the main boss. Or maybe even, oh shit, look at my shoulders. This angle makes them look so big. Anyway, yeah. Maybe even calling it the main boss is probably not the best of ideas. But yeah, that's up for debate. I say this because me saying it's the main boss is like, it's like the final round. It's like the final round. Shao Kahn, you're fighting Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat. I don't know about all those new games, but Mortal Kombat 3, yeah, I don't know, forget the rest of the games in the series. Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, it's like you're fighting Shao Kahn in the final round. In my head, it seems like that's what I've gone and made it as, but is that the most sensible of ideas? Yeah. E or E or. I want to give two answers. I don't know, and I don't think so. They're completely contradictory because one's basically saying no, and one's saying, well, I'm not sure. That's what the I don't know is saying. Oh, no wonder. It's the chest of my chest. That's this. So this part's that's my chest, obviously. There could be a part of why my shoulders are looking so big. Yeah, but now when I sit up like this, even a little bit, it's like, what? Where's the size gone? How girls be trying to catfish you on dating apps with all the angles and the lighting, and my shoulders weren't as big as they looked before. That was an inaccurate representation. This is an accurate representation. But trust me, that's changing. It is changing. Okay? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. To be fair, I may actually really grow my shoulders doing these sorts of gymnastic moves. Apparently gymnasts have big biceps as well. Look at that. You can't even see it. You can't see it as well because of the lighting, but whatever, man. Okay, so that's the plan, because I think those moves will really help me. But could I do the forward roll without these things? Yeah, but why wouldn't I want to do these things? Extra skills to unlock, extra things to learn, extra things to do. Oh, the headstand, it will get me used to having my feet up in the air, and the position is very similar to a handstand. Remember that? So that could help me with a handstand as well. All the more reason to do it. But anyway, instead of me being a drill rapper and saying, let's get to the chicken, let's get back to the exercise. Oh, wait. Oh, it's one of my Carrymore socks. I got a hole in one of my Carrymore socks. I didn't even realise. That's a shame. Right, ATG squat. Hands. Then you move your feet to your hands. You tuck your chin in. Look at your belly button. Then you bend your elbows. Rest your elbows. I am getting there. I am getting there, but leaning forward into it, I think that's where the mental block, I made the mental block because I'm experiencing it right now. Even though I'm not consciously thinking, it's just like, maybe because I've never done it before and I built up hesitancy back when I was wanting to learn how to do the forward roll at age 16 and 15. Maybe it could be anywhere from 13 to 16, honestly. Yeah. I'd say around 15 or so, 15 onwards, but it could have been anywhere from 13 to 16. I've been wanting to learn how to do this forward roll. Or I might reflect and think I even wanted to be doing this longer, ever since childhood, of seeing one of my sisters learn how to, know how to do the forward roll. Or back then it was called roly-poly, but I'm calling it a forward roll. I think it's that leaning forward part. It's not anything else before it. It's that leaning forward part and kicking your feet above your head. It's like, I'm not thinking consciously. I'm just allowing myself to speak. But when I'm going through the motions, I don't know what happens. I don't know, but I know that I am working through it and I'm going to carry on going, which means I'm on the way. Obviously I will, seeing as it will be in the future, but I'm on the way. Further on the way to unlocking the skill, man. You gotta lean forward, you can't just bend down. You have to lean forward. As you bend out, you go tuck your chin in. And I can practice that because I sense that that's where this challenge is coming up. The challenge of being able to complete the forward roll. That's where it starts. Me leaning forward into the roll and actually starting the main point, the main part of the move. Okay. For some people, yeah, learning the forward roll may not be a big deal, but for me, it's a big deal. If I do this, no, sorry, not if, when, once I've achieved this, I would have achieved something that I've been wanting to do for years. At least 4 years. And back then I built up a hesitancy when wanting to attempt the move. I made attempts, but it was the leaning forward part that I just wouldn't allow myself to do. Because I'd be doing the same shit over and over, putting my head on the floor, trying to lean and trying to do it, but it just... that never worked. Do different, get different, do the same, get the same. I'm gonna do different. I'm gonna start practicing the feeling of leaning. Even if I don't drop to the floor, that's fine. But that's where I wanna start. And headstands and safety rolls is also something else I wanna do to get this move done. Okay. clearly tell that this is something new for me. I, on impulse, want to move my hands forward when I'm leaning forward as like a protective mechanism, you could say. What is it? Is it falling? What is it? Is it falling that I'm allowing this to do to me? That I'm allowing this to do to me? I think what it could be is me hurting my neck last year when attempting to do a forward roll, dead on in the centre here. It was a sharp and intense pain as I landed on my neck doing the forward roll, and I want to be able to perform the move safely, so that could be a part of why I'm doing what I'm doing, because not only am I working through something that I've been wanting to do for years, but I know I can get hurt. I know I can hurt myself doing this. I think I'll feel a lot more comfortable, or I was gonna say my body will feel more comfortable. No, yeah, I'll feel more comfortable when I know how to do this with proper form. But I've got to go through this discomfort first. Yeah. This is what I'd usually do. I just bend down. Well, I'm meant to be leaning forward, not bent down. But when I do that, I don't move my hands forward. That's what's comfortable, but not what's going to allow me to unlock the skill. So I have to do what's uncomfortable. I have to lean forward. Alright. Yeah, I've got a starting place for tomorrow. I'm done. Not with the exercise, I'm gonna do planks, but with the forward roll, I'm done for today. One thing I like to mention before going into the planks is when I'd set myself up, I'd feel my hamstrings feel quite tight when I put my ass up in there. My hamstrings, just above the back of my knee, I felt them feeling really tight. It could be because of my efforts in the gym, maybe. Well, there is that I just like to mention before doing this. I'll start at the 25-minute mark of this clip. Four minutes, let's go. or at least 2. Let's start off with 2. With all of the effort that I've put in and going through that uncomfortability, 2 might be the start and end point for today's planks. Shoulders just started working. Oh, I felt with the right side of my abs. It was like here, my left though, just a little bit. And then at the 1 minute mark of this clip, I started to feel, I think the side head of my right shoulder working. Yeah, I'm feeling dehydrated, and I think I have been throughout the entire session, so I'm gonna leave it here for the exercise footage, but the video is far from over, so catch you in the voiceover. All right, we are now in the voiceover section of this video. This is the second day in the row I've done it in this sort of style. I haven't yet made the transition to this part of the video. I did the transition part of the video beforehand yesterday, but I haven't done it today. However, I do want to use that same transition style because I really liked it. So that's what I'm going to do. And in yesterday's video, I apologized for not going into depth as to why I wanted to and want to achieve the forward roll. I may have not also mentioned that I also wanted to go in depth with my in terms of my background with my attempts of wanting to do the forward roll as well. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's go back to pre-day 100. Okay, I'm going to take us back, all the way back to when I was a child and when I didn't actually have a real world age. Well before I was really born. Yeah? Let's go back to when I was a child. Single digits. I don't remember how old, but I remember being single digits. This was in the old house, and in the old house I shared a room with one of my sisters. This context is actually very important because this context I've just given you is actually one of the main reasons why I saw, in this case, one of my sisters do the forward roll at such an early age. Back during these times, we called them roly-polies. Some people might still do, but I've named it forward roll, so I'm going to make it
I'm gonna keep it with that name. I'm gonna keep this this skill under that name of the forward roll instead of the roly poly. It sounds quite childish, and I'm certainly not childish. I'm a man. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I saw one of my sisters in the room we were sharing do a roly poly, and I think that was probably one of, if not the first time, or the first times I saw the move. But I don't think I would have been able to do it at this point, because I can't even do it now. Even though I may be wrong, my perception of reality may be wrong, but I don't think I ever actually was able to do the forward roll ever. But that will, we're on the way to making sure that is no longer the case, and that I actually can do a forward roll of proper form. I do remember briefly explaining why I actually want to achieve the forward roll in the first place. I certainly have. I did this in yesterday's log. However, I may have missed some points, so later on in the video, I'm going to get into that. But for now, let's go back. So, yeah, I remember I have a visual snapshot in my mind, in my memory, of one of my sisters in the room we were sharing do a roly-poly when I was very, very young. And that's when the journey started. So the next time I was going to see forward rolls was during GCSE times. During GCSE times, from anywhere around 13 to 16. Sorry, you probably just heard me sigh there. There's something else on my mind related to the forward rolls, which I'm not going to get into because I'd much rather not put that out there. And I've already worked through that thought in my mind off camera, so I'm not going to do that here. But anyway, yeah, that's why you heard me sigh. But going back to this now, I just don't have to show. I don't have to share everything. Not everything, especially if I don't feel comfortable with sharing it. Like, if I feel very uncomfortable with sharing it, now it's not the time. Not the time. But yeah, let's go back to. Oh, sorry. Yeah, in this situation, actually, let's go ahead. Let's go forward in time to the time when I was doing my GCSEs and working up towards the exams. Back in around anywhere from year 9 to year 11, during that period of my life. Okay. So, during GCSE times, you could pick certain sports that you wanted to do, and one of the sports that I remember picking badminton, and I also picked trampolining. I remember that you could pick certain sports, like even dancing, for example. You could pick dancing. Now that I think about it, with the sort of mindset that I have, I probably would have picked dancing as well, because there would have been a whole load of girls there which I would be dancing with. Come on. Yeah. So I remember picking, as I said, badminton and trampolining, seeing as I have memories of doing those sports, but sometimes we'd also do different sports. I'd say when it comes to that sort of thing, the school system actually... I want to say they haven't failed students in that. They haven't failed the community in that sense, because in PE you do sports, you're active, you're physically active, and you're also mentally active. You're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, especially during GCSE times. I was, that's for sure. I was taking the piss, especially I remember with tennis and football. I was taking the absolute piss, and I had a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs, a lot of memories with friends of mine, which I now unfortunately haven't spoken to in a very long while, but I think I have their numbers. When it comes to the high school, when it comes to having friends after school, if you really want them to be your friend, you're going to have to make a massive effort to keep them around. I'm telling you that now from personal experience. I didn't, and now the friends that I once had and that I'd known for years, I don't speak to at all. But I don't mind, because I'm out there socializing and meeting people who I like a lot more than those people, because we were in school, and the mindset the school students have is very, very similar and average. There wasn't it was difficult to find those sorts of people to aspire to. And when I say aspire to, I mean what I'd consider worthy of aspiring of at this point in time, not back then. Because there were friends that I aspired to live like and be like. I know two in particular, seeing as they were achieving high in their grades, but they were achieving high in their grades, and they also did extracurricular activities. But I don't aspire to be like them now. I aspire to be like other people I see in the gym, which I'm actually going to talk about later. I'm going to talk about my experience in the gym. Just to introduce the topic, I saw Hattie in the gym, and when talking to her, I got erect. I got I'd say anywhere from like maybe an 18th to a third, anywhere around that range, just a little bit. I'm gonna call it my dick, Liu Kang. Yeah, it will do a whole load of martial arts, and sometimes it can get very angry. The sort of angry where Liu Kang does the flying kick in Mortal Kombat 1. That sort of angry. Yeah, it could strike on you. But okay, I'm going to leave that for later on in the video and carry on talking about my attempts of trying to do the forward roll during GCSE times in the trampolining room. But before I do, I'm going to talk about the trampolining room and what the trampolines were like. Okay. The trampolines, oh my goodness, they were no joke. They were the real deal, and you could jump very high on those things, much higher than I think you're able to jump on a normal back garden trampoline. These things were, yeah, they were the real deal. Crazy, I may say. That was the word that came to mind, because the way how I was jumping so high was mental. Much higher than I think you can on as I said, a back garden trampoline. So during these times, I tried doing the forward roll by myself amongst all of the other skills that we were learning in trampoline class. I tried doing it by myself, and I also got help. I got help from my friends. I remember one friend in particular who, actually going back earlier in the video, who I aspired to be like, one of the friends of mine I aspired to be like, who I don't talk to often anymore. Yeah, he was doing a forward roll. Someone that I wasn't friends with as much. He did the forward roll. I think how trampoline class went is that there were at least 4. These trampolines were quite large, and you'd have numerous people amongst one trampoline, and you'd take turns as you'd switch around, and you'd take turns. Okay, so you'd have, I'd say maybe four people per trampoline. Obviously, you have the part where you can bounce on the trampoline, obviously. But there's also outside uh, outside of that area, you can also stand. It's wide enough to stand without bouncing. It's not hard like the ground, but it's hard for something that's soft. It's hard for something that's meant to be soft. It's metal covered in like a soft trampoline park mat sort of thing. Imagine those sorts of mats that you're learning how to do backflips on. That was the sort of feeling that it had, but also with metal below it, because that was holding that part of the trampoline up. So yeah, I was trying to do it. I could do other tricks. I could jump and then fall on my back and then come back up. I could do that. I could jump really high. I didn't do front flip, but I did actually see one guy do a front flip. There were other tricks that I was learning how to do, and I am now thinking one cool kid guy in the area who came from somewhere else. Yeah, I won't say where, just to keep people anonymous. I won't say where. But cool kid from a different area. That guy, he was doing front flips and potentially even back flips. He may have done both, and I'm not sure which one I'm visualizing he did. I'm not sure. It could be a backflip. Some people who were really enjoying it, yeah, they were doing backflips. Speaking of, I'm thinking of learning how to backflip after achieving this forward roll as well. I've never, at this point in time, I've never attempted to do a backflip. I've seen a backflip on YouTube in a exercise burpee contest, but I've seen it in an exercise burpee contest, in a You're Not the Father compilation. When I saw it in the You're Not the Father compilation, I said probably it could be seen as foul. I called it the black flip. When you get told you're not the father and you feel so happy that you do a backflip. I called that the black flip. Hearing the news from Maury that you're not the dad, you're not the baby dad. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that sense of relief feels like, but it's probably a lot of relief. A lot of relief for the man and not so much for the lady. Probably feelings of defeat for the lady, knowing that she can't trap the man legally through child support and use his money that he gives for the child for Gucci bags and designer clothing and all that shit. Okay. Yes, speaking of my teacher trying to help me do the forward roll when I asked, he would literally try and tip me over. My PE teacher would literally try and trip me over, but it was like that point in the forward roll when I'd have to lean forward and kick my legs up. That was the same point that I was making myself struggle at. Back then, the mental block wasn't so... Back then, the mental block that I could have made up in my mind wasn't so fucking deep. But now, I'm undoing that. Not have to, I am undoing that. I have no idea how long it's going to take. But I have made progress today. Instead of just bending down when I've set myself up for the forward roll, I'm now actually practicing the art of leaning forward. Yeah. But for now, let's go back to the GCSE, my GCSE times when I was trying to do this. Okay, so let's get back to it. I've made more notes about this, which I'm now seeing as I make this voiceover. I did just stall a bit there so that it'd come up, but now we can carry on doing this. So all of the other tricks, I remember doing on the trampoline. I remember, as I said, jumping onto my back, jumping onto my front, and then coming back up. I'm even moving my back up and down the car as I'm remembering me doing this trampolining. Oh, I made a note to talk about the fun that I experienced doing this. Trampolining was so much more fun than class. So much more fun. The only time class was, in my opinion, probably the only times I could think of class being fun was when I say class. I'm not talking about PE. I'm talking about all of the subjects in which you have to sit down and fucking quote unquote learn. You're not learning shit really, but yeah, you're not learning anything useful really. If it's not learning how to count, learning how to form a debate, learning how to read, write, listen, speak, and think for yourself critically, which school certainly didn't teach me. School didn't teach me mental health either. The most that we got for mental health, was a fucking presentation, and a green slip of paper, a green slip of A5 paper. That was the only shit that we got for how to improve your mental health, when in reality, improving your mental health is fucking key to transforming your life. Improving your mental health and changing who you are, the fucking brain, is key for your life. But we got one presentation and a fucking A5, a light green A5 slip, which I still have to this day, but a light fucking green A5 slip. That's what we got. That's what we got in order to help transform our lives. What was really important, mental health, what was really important, we got a fucking green A5 slip, a light green A5 slip. What fucking bullshit, man. Look, okay, let's get back to this. Oh, man, okay. That's all I remember of the mental health stuff that we got. I don't even remember the presentation as well. That's how fucking unmemorable it is. School was rather unmemorable, to be honest. I remember complaining about feeling tired a lot. I was a complainer. I complained a lot. But that has nothing to do with trampolining. Those were the times I was having pure, unadulterated fun, if that's even a word. Complete, pure fun. One thing I'd like to mention that's unrelated, but is to do with trampolining. When I say unrelated, I mean unrelated to me learning the skill. The ground was concrete hard. It was always tough to land on my feet when stepping down from the trampoline mat, because everything's so bouncy and soft. But then you get hard concrete reality, even though the soft part is also reality. But yeah, that was just one thing that I remember, and I always I remember feeling physically weird after jumping off. Shaky, I'd say, not because of any fear, but just because of the jumping around and being on bouncy surfaces and then having to reset to hard concrete. That made my legs feel a bit jiggly. Maybe not shaky, but just a bit loose, much looser than usual. Okay, so any other tricks? On my side, maybe? Landing on my side? Nah. I remember sometimes I've landed on my face, I think, at least once. And I also, when I was landing on my back once, I I landed poorly, so I just stood on the mat. No, not stood. I just fell on the mat and I didn't come back up as you usually would. And that was different. I think that's all I can remember when it comes to the tricks that I was doing in the on the trampoline. But yeah, let's talk about the fun that I experienced whilst trampolining. This, it was always fun. Always. I think everyone really was having a good time. I want to say even the girls, even though they may not have been trampolining, maybe even though they weren't trampolining as much as the guys were, I mean, we were all having fun. All of us. I'm just looking at my neck in the mirror and seeing how much dead skin there is because of the ingrown hairs. I need to go and shave again. But it seems like it's actually doing better than it ever has been before. Except, actually, maybe even on my Adam's apple as well, but around my Adam's apple, to the right side of my Adam's apple, the spots are really looking much bigger than in any other area of my neck. The cream that I use really points them out because it's not only red now, it's red and white. The ingrown hairs are red and white. Anyway, back to the fun that I experienced whilst trampolining. I remember it always being fun. That may not be the case in reality. I may have had some times in which I didn't enjoy the session, but I always experienced fun doing this. I'm going to allow myself to get sidetracked again because now I've remembered something. I've had a memory one time when I was feeling unhappy after coming back home around year 9 during the time I was doing athletics club, and it's this memory when running around the track just made me think. Ever since young, I could have had a want for athleticism from a very early age, at least even 13. Maybe because I wasn't doing that during middle school, I was wanting to do that during high school. Or maybe I just wanted to try it out. But yeah, during 13, I vividly remember going to athletics club, seeing the twins there that were fast as fuck. They were so fast. Yeah, those guys. Woo! But yeah, I just remembered one time. I think maybe ever since a young age, at least 13, I've been wanting to unleash my athletic side, but I forgot about that. I stopped. Damn. In my head now, the thoughts just popped into my mind. What if I didn't? But in reality, that time's come and gone. I think what could have happened was when I started feeling low, in combination with the excuse GCSEs are coming up, then I stopped. Oh. Ever since a young age, I've never thought this before. You're hearing my mindset change in real time. Ever since a young age, I've been wanting to fulfill this. I went to athletics club, and I think I genuinely, without even knowing it, wanted to unleash my athletic side. I even have memories of one girl doing push-ups, proper normal push-ups, at 13 whilst I was doing knee push-ups. And I got shamed for it, you know. I got shamed for it. The girls shamed me for it. He's like, oh, I'm doing normal push-ups. Look at you, you're doing knee ones. You're doing. She could have said you're doing girl ones. I don't know. Big fucking deal now. What are the odds that she's doing push-ups now? Like, tables are turning. What are the odds I see this person? I still remember exactly what she looks like. I remember her name. I think I actually even remember how to fucking spell it. Her surname was a bit of a strange one. That's why I've just made that point. Apologies. The sounds that you're hearing now is me trying to clean out my teeth. Don't have a floss or anything like that. And I can see hot cross bun remains in between my teeth. Yeah. I think that could have been... Damn, you know. In the Day 82 video, I was talking about having dark thoughts and saying that the reason why people could have dark thoughts is that they're not fulfilling their potential. And now that I've just thought about it, that could have been a part of the reason, a very slow shift towards me having dark thoughts, because I stopped following that path in which I was actually having a lot of fun in the exercise clubs, and therefore allow myself to unleash that athletic side of me, which I am doing now. But I think that's a very important key reason as to why I had dark thoughts, because people who don't, they're fulfilling their potential and they're feeling at peace. They're feeling at least happy sometimes, not always, but these people they're fulfilled. They're feeling fulfilled. Whereas people having dark thoughts, I don't think they feel fulfilled. At least most of them anyway. Who's gonna have dark thoughts when they're feeling satisfied with what they do and how they live their lives? That doesn't make sense. I'd say they may have a dark thought every now and then and it would be impulsive, but they'd check themselves on that immediately, be like, what the hell? No. I'm having a lot of fun in my life. I don't want to kill myself. Like, what the fuck? But if you take away the fulfillment from yourself that you're having, then it makes sense as to why you've gone further down the path of having suicidal thoughts and or homicidal. I apologize. That came out of nowhere. That could have come out of nowhere, but I just remembered the memories, and now I think you've heard me come up with 2 new mindset changes. Like stopping me no longer going to athletics club could have been a part of the reason why I slowly but surely shifted to having impulsive thoughts, quick, small visualizations of me having dark, suicidal thoughts. They're only impulsive, not thought deeply, and I didn't even have any thought of wanting to put them into action. The furthest I ever went was like, what the hell is this? Am I actually genuinely considering this? But that was as far as it went. I didn't in the end, and after having the other dark thought, I thought, you know what, no, things have got to change. I'd much rather not speak about it in this video because I've already gone through it, and I don't want to put myself through that dark place again. There's no need, because I've already worked through it. There's no need to do that. Let's go back to the trampoline and stuff now. Jeez, okay. I've noticed that I'm allowing myself to get sidetracked, and I've allowed myself to get sidetracked many times. So this time I'm going to strictly focus on this. I'm going to channel my energy strictly into working through this trampoline forward roll thing. I know how to strictly focus, so I know what I'm doing and I know how to go about things. All right, let's go. Apologies. There's something else I want to talk about going to when it comes to the fulfillment thing during year nine times when I was 13, and going to that event when I was coming back home from another area to do some athletics. And in the school van coming back, I was certainly almost cried, and I genuinely could have cried, and that just made me think the fucking passion, the enthusiasm, the deep investment in of emotions that I had in athletics. Hint, hint, that's a sign you're fulfilled, that you're really wanting to improve and that you're really wanting to actually do what is, well, back then, what was required of you, and to actually get those signs of approval instead of getting disapproval, which is why I remember almost crying, if not actually crying back then. Yeah. Okay. Wow, I actually was feeling rather fulfilled back then. Even if I didn't realize it, I was on a healthy path, but then I took myself off it. But if I didn't take myself off it, I wouldn't have realized, oh shit, like this is a part of what I need, NEED, to do in order to experience fulfillment in my life. Need to exercise. Okay, so let's go back to this trampolining thing during GCSE times. I remember not having this sort of trampoline fun during childhood for the most part, or adolescence as well. I don't remember having this during adolescence at all outside of the trampolining classes, but something was going on with one of my sisters. I don't remember what, but for whatever reason, we had to go to, my parents felt the need to go to my neighbour's house, and no, my parents felt the need for us to go to my neighbour's house, so I went, and I used the trampoline. They had two children at least, both of them being male, and I remember playing with them, and I remember bouncing on the trampoline and saying, "Where's the rice and stew? Where's the plantain?" to the mum. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember saying that. And at the dining table, I said, "Look, this is 10 chips. You're giving me 10 chips." I fucking counted. Yeah. Oh, memories. Yeah. Okay, so again, no, I haven't allowed myself to be sidetracked. This is actually about what I want to talk about. So I don't remember having this sort of fun during childhood. If I were playing games in the back garden when I was very young, maybe like single digits, I remember having conversations with imaginary people, imaginary friends, you could call them. I remember, I think I've said this in previous log, having a conversation with one of my family relatives. Even though he wasn't there, I obviously knew he wasn't there. I wasn't, nor am I schizophrenic. But I think the reason why I was doing that is because of how I processed conversations and potentially plan in my head how I wanted to go about conversations in the future. I think that's why I did it, and I have even done it recently. I don't know. It's a habit I've built for sure ever since childhood. But do I want to keep it? Do I want to get rid of it? Sometimes. Is it adaptive? Is it maladaptive? I don't know. I haven't really thought it through. But when it comes to childhood fun, again, it was either I was doing that. I eventually stopped doing that. And I was playing football. I was kicking the ball against the wall. One time, I kicked so hard against the wall that I heard pans fall out. Like pans came out of one of the cupboards. That's how hard I was kicking the ball sometimes. Because I didn't back then. I didn't know that could happen. And hence, yeah, I don't remember kicking that hard ever again. During my childhood, the other sorts of fun I'd have, playing a whole load of games. playing a whole load of video games. I remember playing FIFA Germany World Cup 2006 on the PS2. I had the PS2 and Xbox 360, the original white Xbox 360, but that got red ringed. That got the red ring of death. And the console that I gave away to one of my sisters was the black version, the Kinect version, the one where you could just tap the button and then the disc tray would come out. It was that sort of Xbox 360, potentially the final version. Yeah, back in those times, those were the sorts of games that I was playing. But when I was around single digits, it was predominantly the PSP and the PS2. And I'd also argue the PS Vita. I may have been playing that as well back then. I remember the only console I actually bought was the PSP. I didn't buy it during single digits, but I got it from cash converters when I was 15 during 2017 times, yeah. 15 going on 16. Seeing up 20 years old, going on 21. Gonna be 21 this year, yeah. Okay, so what other sorts of fun did I have during my childhood? How else would I have fun? So there are all the video games, like the PS2, even just off the top of my head. FIFA Germany World Cup 2006, FIFA Street 1, FIFA Street 2. There was also FIFA Street 3, but that's on the Xbox 360. So not that. The Getaway on the PS2 with the London. It was like a GTA. It was one of GTA's competitors back then. I remember playing that game quite a bit during childhood and adolescence as well. During adolescence, I actually went on YouTube to find out all of the locations that you can find secret cars in. I remember doing that. But during childhood, I remember having snapshots of playing the Getaway in my head. I think it may not have been that vivid, but I remember it being potentially the first mission, the Frightener. Yeah. And I remember we were driving in the green car, we go straight, and I think my memory was, I was driving, we're going straight, we come out the car, but I don't remember coming out the car, but it only makes sense I come out the car due to the theory of continuity. And then I blasted an AK for someone. I may have been watching. I remember blasting an AK on one of the Bethnal Green Mob members, and this Bethnal Green Mob member, he was wearing he was the type, he's built, but he's slightly overweight with a chubby face, and he's wearing a red jacket. It's a thin red jacket, and it doesn't have a hood. It had white stripes, 2 white stripes that went horizontally across the front of the jacket. One stripe being around the middle of the chest, and one stripe being around just above the abs. So I'd say around the ribcage region, going around the front of the jacket. That was, he was wearing light blue jeans as well. So I think maybe white shoes with black shoelace, black shoelaces as well, from my memory. But anyway, yeah, I blasted this guy. So I was to the left. So the car was parked on the road. I was on the road. No pun intended. I was actually on the road. Yeah. And I blasted this guy with an AK, and he fell over to the right. But on the screen, seeing as we were facing him, he fell to the left. He fell to his right and he fell to our left. That's what I'm saying. Also, as I got older, starting from around 9 years old, back when I had or maybe back when my sister and I were sharing the white Xbox 360, which eventually got the red ring of death. We were playing Black Ops 1 Zombies together. Eventually, we wouldn't play together. It would just be me. And it'd be me with the black Xbox 360 that could connect, that could hook up to the... that the Kinect could hook up to. I remember playing a whole load of Call of Duty games during my childhood and adolescence. I also remember playing GTA San Andreas, GTA 3, but on the PC as a child. But I eventually bought the GTA 3 on the PS2. Also, same goes with Vice City. I originally played it on the PC, but I eventually went and got it on the PS2. I think that could have been when I was 15, when I was buying the PSP as well. Maybe not in the same day. Maybe not in the same day, or perhaps on the same day, but around that time maybe. But anyway, yeah. Now that I've said all this, I have to tie this back to the fun I had whilst trampolining. Yeah, these are just all of the sorts of fun, the types of fun that I'd have, quote unquote fun that I'd have, is just dopamine, like unhealthy, the unhealthy kind of dopamine stimulation that I'd put myself through. But back then I didn't know any better, so I didn't do better. The trampolining was probably a really healthy stimulation for me, and I have no idea what I would have ended up with trampolining if I had just carried it on. I've never, until now, thought about what I wanted to carry trampolining on. I don't actually know if there are any trampoline parks in the area, but in another area, I had seen a trampoline park, but I hadn't gone in there because I was just so invested in walking around the area first, because I really enjoyed the look of it. Maybe another time. But I really do want to go to a trampoline park in the area and a calisthenics park in the area, if there are any, because I remember going to a calisthenics park in the same area that I saw the trampoline park in, and mate, it was I loved it. And I even trained there recently, so I know I love the bars, and the bars will I'll allow myself to be to strengthen, to become physically much stronger and also mentally stronger with those sorts of bars. But I have to find out if there are any calisthenics parks nearby, or where is the closest calisthenics park. So yeah, that's what I'll have to go and do. On the premise I'm really serious about doing calisthenics with the bars. I can buy my own parallettes, so it's not like I can't do shit. Parallettes opens up a whole load of doors, which I can have without, but it may help with my form if I have parallettes. But anyway, going back to this trampolining thing. I made notes saying I was going back to the time I was saying that I had when I was complaining to the parents in the house of the next door about about them serving me 10 chips It was oven chips as well. They served me oven chips. They didn't even have the decency. They didn't even have the decency to make them homemade. They used oven chips. Oven chips. That was the sort of vibe I was giving off when I was saying that. I didn't think it through that far. But I was like, it's 10 chips. They were long chips, long oven chips. But 10 of them. I have no idea how old I was back then. I could have been single digits. I don't remember being double digits whilst this was happening, but I made more notes about this event saying that I was straight up fearless. I was straight up fearless saying that. Kids have a lot of fearlessness in them because they haven't yet worked through any fears, because they haven't built any in their mind. There's no such thing as I can't in these children. That could be a very positive thing, but that can also be quite a negative thing when they're trying to act like a cool kid because they're seeking attention and they're not going to go to any. There is no limit for them. When in reality, they would be much healthier, productive members of society if their parents just gave them a healthy amount of attention and gave them many outlets to be able to unleash their creativity. But that's another topic for another day. I made another note which I'm now about what I'm now calling the 10 chips event. I said I was fearless back then. That's what I wrote down, and I also wrote down on the laptop. I said what was on my mind. This makes me think that I may have built up the trait of honesty in me ever since I was very young, much younger than when I made the conscious decision to, back when I was 16/17. Maybe not, but that could be a topic for a whole nother day. I think if I were to go and explore this avenue, this video would be like 3 hours long, because I not only would have to explore this avenue, but I have to talk through my attempts of doing the forward roll. And I haven't even got to explain why I want to do the forward roll in the first place in depth. I haven't even done that yet. So I'm going to leave it at that and say that's a topic for a whole nother day, and get back to talking about all the times that I've attempted, including today and yesterday, of which I've attempted to do the forward roll. So let's get back to it. So now the next time period I attempted to do the forward roll in was last year. I don't actually remember when last year. It could have been at the end. It could have been like around May last year. I don't actually remember, but I have made the attempt to do forward rolls last year many times, quite a few days, maybe even a few weeks. I back then was watching YouTube videos on how to do it. I was using the sofa cushions, and I was doing the safety roll, which I learned on the internet was also called a commando roll. That's what I was calling it, and thinking of it back then. That was the terminology I named it, because that's what I saw on the internet, and that's why I therefore quote unquote knew. So I was doing the quote unquote commando roll, both left and right. I was practicing that, and I was also practicing how to do the forward roll. And I think one of the places I could have got a major subconscious mental block is the time which I think I may have spoken about earlier. This is the time in which I hurt my neck whilst going through the motions of a forward roll. I bang on the dead center. I remember even touching it earlier on in the video. Thank fuck the reason why I actually want to do the forward rolls is only going to take about 2 minutes to talk about, because if it didn't, this thing would probably be anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours long. Thank fuck it isn't. It's only going to take a few minutes, and once I've done that, then I'll make a brief reminder as to how I want to go about actually getting the forward roll done. This video is taken quite longer than usual because I didn't mute the visual clip that I'm looking at whilst making this voiceover. So I've been muting a whole load of clips manually, not thinking of, oh wait, hold on a sec, I can duplicate the muted clips already, and then I'll be able to delete the ones that have sound in. Oh, you know what, I'm just going to push through these last few minutes so I don't have to talk about this anymore, and I can get it out of the way and focus more on how the fuck am I going to carry on fulfilling my potential, which I am doing more than ever, but doesn't mean I can't do it more. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Okay, so I've got a whole list of the reasons why I want to achieve the forward roll at this point in time. I've spoken about one already that I can see whilst making this voiceover, but I'm going to go through all of them. Doing this means I've undone mental blocks that I created, and I would have created much healthier mental pathways that I can use in other areas of my life also. How? I'll see. We'll see. I certainly plan to talk about it because that's a part of the journey as well. Parts of outside of this journey are going to be spoken about in this journey as well. So I can work through it and also let it be known that my life's transforming in this way, and therefore, now that I think about it, major transformations would make more sense by actually explaining what's going on off camera as well. I'm not going to speak about everything. No, I won't, but I certainly will let some things known, that's for sure, and I've done that. When making the exercise footage, I didn't actually think, I could create much more mentally healthy pathways and new ways of thinking that actually serve me and will serve me for the rest of my life until I could, until I need to take it further up to the next level. They certainly can, and we'll see how I grow. We all will. I'm not going to be able to hide it. My family and and the people around me in the gym, they'll also see it too. And with what the mentally healthy pathways I would have created, I'll be further on the way to making a whole load of money. Millionaire by 24 is the aim. Let's make it a reality. It's time to be a millionaire, man. It's time to be. But that is a topic for a whole other day. So I also said I said I would have achieved something new, and therefore I would feel more fulfilled. Just like how I felt more fulfilled after achieving the double under. When I say more fulfilled, I mean then back when I was working up towards it. Potentially. But the fact that I'm working towards it to be able to achieve something, it's like, it's very useful, but in the moment you're too busy learning to feel that sensation of fulfillment because your efforts haven't yet provided you the fruits of your labor quite yet, because you haven't achieved that new skill. So I can understand why I'd say I feel more fulfilled, because I haven't yet received the fruits of my labor specifically for achieving the forward roll, because I haven't yet done it, but I'm on my way to doing it, and I'm going to keep on fucking proving it. I'm going to keep on proving it time and time again, that when you speak like this, say I'm on my way, not I will do. I'm on my way, and you're going to fucking see that this shit works, that what I'm telling you works. Yeah, I'm going to prove it time and time again, and you guys that aren't me in this self-improvement community are going to be like, oh shit. You will. Watch. But anyway, let's carry on. I would have achieved something that I've been wanting to do since potentially 15 years old, ever since GCSE PE times, and I'd argue even younger, back when I was single digits, ever since I saw my sister one of my sisters doing the forward roll. I actually, in fact, remember attempting this, and I remember achieving it myself. on the bottom bunk bed, actually. That's just reminded me. Quite a while ago, actually, maybe last year, I tried doing it on the bunk bed, because that's a mattress. That could give you that soft gymnastic sort of mat vibe, which will allow you to work through the forward roll. I actually remember doing it last year or so with the forward. I remember doing something similar with the forward roll with the mattress. I think doing it on the mattress would make me feel more comfortable rather than doing it on the hard floor. Yeah, that's another way. Learning safety rolls, both left and right, headstand, will also help me feel more comfortable with will allow me to gain experience with having my feet up in the air, and I also it would be much easier and much more comfortable to tip myself over on the mattress than the hard floor. So yeah, I might actually just do that, on the bed instead of on the floor. I have no idea how I fucking record that, but yeah, it seems like that would be the much safer option, and that would make me feel comfortable to do it on the floor as well. I'm not against doing it on the floor, but I think that would make things easier. That would make things softer. It would make things more comfortable for me. Well, I'd feel more comfortable because the mattress is softer than the hard floor, which means I'm much less at risk of hurting my neck whilst doing the forward roll. Yeah. And one more thing. Oh, two more things actually. I would have achieved something on the plank journey ladder, which is what I've set myself, which leads me on to speaking more generally, the second point that I want to make, and that I'm going to end this video on. I would have once again proven that you could do what you set your mind to, on the premise you work on what you want to do on a daily basis, every single day, and you eventually will achieve what you want to achieve. You eventually will unlock that new skill, because you would have been on your way to doing this through your actions. And give it enough time and it will come. Not only will you be feeling fulfilled after, but you would have proven to yourself time and time again that you're able to do what you set your mind to, which that mindset will seep into other areas of your life as well. But that is it. I'm going to now end the video here on the note that I have also made a whole load of tasks that are things to achieve, aims. I don't want to call them tasks, aims, things to achieve for the forward roll. I made a whole load, and that's what I've been reading off this entire time. That's what I took videos of parts that of the forward roll ladder that I made following Healthy Gamer GG's idea of making a whole list of things that you want to do when a task feels overwhelming of some sort, like when there's a fuck ton of dishes that you need to wash and you don't know where to start. You could think, okay, I want to do this, let's do that. That's what I've done, and it's working. I'm now actually moving forward. I'm doing something that I've never done before and thinking in ways that I've never done before when it comes to wanting to achieve the forward roll. I could do it on the bed. I didn't think of that until now. I can practice the headstand, the safety rolls, and I could, after doing it on the bed, the forward roll on the bed, I could also do it on the floor. What will count, quote unquote, what I'm calling a forward roll is you do it and you also stand up. You forward roll effortlessly and you stand up with flair. Yeah, that's what I'm classing as me unlocking the skill. But on that note, I am going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something valuable, and I will see you all in the next one. Now I've got to get to editing the video and making sure that it's out. Oh, actually, one more thing. The yesterday's video and the video before that has got quite a few views, and that's because of me. I've been going back and forth. Last night and in the very early hours today, around midnight, I was maybe all the way up till like 12:30. I was playing about with the like YouTube. They call it YouTube Creator Studio on the computer, and I found out what an ed screen was, when you could put a playlist or a video, and then your account. You could click the subscribe button and to go on more videos. You could do cards where you have the eye at the top right. I found out about those yesterday and last night, which is insane. How much how much depth YouTube goes into people being able to watch these videos, and potentially to make it all the more addictive, because there's shit popping out everywhere, reading text, which is you using your head, they're making you use your head and all of that without even realizing it. Active recall, I think they called it, or something. It's an active task. You have to read stuff like that. I've certainly used text, but that's just to explain what's going on, even though I could have been doing it myself without even realizing it. And it seems like with the videos that do have text, YouTube actually shows them. When it comes to a preview, if you're just on a feed and you put your mouse cursor over a video and it starts to play the first few seconds, it seems like it will play the parts of the video where it has text, which is rather interesting. But yeah, getting quite deep invested into this, and also into other areas of my life. And mate, that's what this channel's for, to completely transform my life and what I'm doing, make money off what I love, which is this. I have a deep enthusiasm and passion for it now, so there's no way I'm not going to stop. It's allowed me to completely change as a person, even within the space of 101 days. As we move on to the second chapter of this journey, which is to make massive changes from day 101 to day 999. But yeah, I made comments on it on the last couple of videos. I don't know why, but it won't let me show the videos during the ed screens. I don't know why, but yeah, anyway, that will eventually be solved. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something valuable. Don't take care of yourselves. Don't suppress yourselves. Have an outlet to release. YouTube, use your phone. Yeah, talk, whatever things you're working through, talk through it on a daily basis. You will transform. Trust me. My articulation ability is much improved. I was able to articulate myself like how I am now in my mind, but I couldn't do that when speaking because I didn't practice the skill. But now I'm practicing the skill, so I'm now articulating myself as clearly as, or much more clearly, and on the same sort of articulation that I was articulating myself in my head. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something valuable. Take care of yourselves. Don't suppress yourselves. And I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Bye. On a side note, I planned to talk about getting erect while speaking to Hattie in the gym. Getting like anywhere from an 18th to a 3rd. But I was way too focused on actually talking about the forward roll that I completely forgot about speaking about it in detail. Yeah, I'm just going to have to leave it at that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Don't suppress yourselves. And see you in the next one. Bye. This should be the last time I actually end this voiceover. Yeah, bye.